Oregon Health Authority will hold a press conference to talk about the latest in the monkeypox outbreak. The state of Oregon sent a message to healthcare providers saying they have to cover monkeypox vaccinations. They cite a state law that prohibits health plans from restricting coverage. Right now, the monkeypox case count in Oregon remains at 89. 2 cases are in women, the rest of them are among men. In Washington state, cases are now at 236. Nationally, the CDC says there are more than 10,000 monkeypox cases.
Well, joining us live this morning to dig deeper into the signs and symptoms of monkeypox is medical director at Prism Health, Connie Silverman. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I think there's been, a lot of fear and uncertainty surrounding monkeypox, so I'm glad that we can get some information out to people and help clear some things up this morning. First, let's talk about how monkeypox is spreading right now.
Yeah, so what we're seeing in this current outbreak is that it is really prolonged direct skin-to-skin contact with someone who already has monkeypox. You can also get it from close face-to-face contact, so if a droplet goes from one person's mouth to another person's mouth. But the main mode of transmission is that prolonged direct skin-to-skin contact.
Who is most at risk?
It's a good question. Monkeypox can affect anyone regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, race, income. In this particular outbreak, it's primarily affecting gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men. So I think it's important to highlight these communities so that we can get them resources without contributing to stigmatizing those communities, because really anyone can be affected by this.
Yeah, it's certainly understandable, just how triggering this might feel for members of this community. And with that fear of stigma, probably comes the fear to speak up. What can people do right now to protect themselves?
I think getting informed, understanding how it spreads, really talking to sexual partners about if they've had any symptoms, about what monkeypox is, and then looking at what is your overall risk, what activities do you participate in, and maybe thinking about limiting number of partners, maybe not going to bathhouses and saunas for a while until we have better access to vaccine, and until we can contain this outbreak a little bit more.
Yeah, you mentioned symptoms. What are the symptoms of monkeypox, and what should you do if you notice any of those symptoms?
Symptoms can vary. Oftentimes it starts with flu-like symptoms, fevers, muscle aches, sometimes some swollen lymph nodes. And then there's that kind of hallmark rash that people will develop. It can be just a few lesions on the genitals. It can also be much more widespread. So if you develop symptoms, the first thing to do is make sure you isolate from other people in your home. If you are going to be around other people, try to cover up any lesions as best you can and wear a mask, and then get tested. Thankfully, we have better access to testing at this point. There are a lot of commercial laboratories in the state of Oregon who can run this, but testing involves swabbing a lesion.
Okay. And you mentioned too, access to vaccines. That has been a hurdle right now. The FDA changing how the vaccine is going to be given in a way that uses a smaller dosage, trying to get more vaccines out to more people. So what's the latest on this? What's the current status of people being able to get a vaccine?
It's been really challenging because of a limited and unpredictable supply of vaccine. So right now, Oregon is using a one dose strategy where we're getting one dose into as many arms as possible. We know that this offers good protection for up to 2 years. And when more vaccine becomes available, then we will vaccinate folks with a second dose. Right now, we are not going to that lower dose intradermal strategy that the FDA just approved, but we're working with OHA and community partners to determine if that makes sense for us to move towards.
And where can people get vaccines right now? I would assume that Prism Health is one area that they could reach out.
Prism Health has a very limited supply, so what we've been doing was partnering with Multnomah County and our other community partners. The best thing that folks can do is contact their local health department. We're working with OHA local health departments to distribute vaccine, and because it's so unpredictable, the counties are doing wait lists and then working to distribute those folks to local clinics to get their vaccines. I'm hoping that as more vaccine becomes available, then it'll be much, much easier to access.
Yeah, one last question. Can monkeypox spread to pets or vice versa?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we know that monkeypox can spread between people and animals. We don't know if it can spread to household animals like dogs and cats at this time. It's unlikely, but out of an abundance of caution, the CDC is recommending that folks isolate from their pets for 21 days if you do test positive for monkeypox. They have great information on their website.
Yeah, that is something good to know, just to have a plan in place too if you're worried of being at risk here. Connie Silverman from Prism Health, thank you for joining us on AM Extra. Lots of good information this morning.
Thanks so much.
And for more information on monkeypox, as well as what to do if you think you have it, go to coin.com.